Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I want us to use this opportunity today to tell Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka the truth. Because it's only the truth which will set Kalonzo free. Kalonzo is not a free man. The truth of the matter is that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka has only 3 options left for him. Those who've been following this channel, previously I stated that he had 5 options. Those options have narrowed down to 3. By 10th of this month, because political parties have up to 9th to register their agreements with the political parties, with the registered political parties, after 9th, Kalonzo Musyoka will only have 1 option. The first option he has, as at now, is to join the Azimio movement. That's an option. He can decide to join Azimio without conditions, which is, in my view, is what he will have to do, or he can put conditions just to negotiate. So the first option for him, which he is left with, join Azimio. The second option is to join Kenya Kwanza. And I've just seen him address the media, and he referred to Kenya Kwanza as Kenya Kwisha. So I don't know whether he's considering that, but that's the second option he has. The third option which Kalonzo Musyoka has is to decide to become a third force. Basically, Kalonzo Musyoka can decide to go up to the ballot, either as a Wiper presidential candidate or as One Kenya Alliance presidential candidate. Let me make a prediction. On Wednesday, which is tomorrow, the ODM party and Jubilee party and other partners who are forming Azimio will embark on presidential campaigns. You will see KANU in that meeting. That will send a signal to Kalonzo Musyoka. So Kalonzo Musyoka has those 3 options. And Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka today addressed the media. I want us to go into that particular media address so that we can understand what Kalonzo Musyoka is trying to say. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And with the subscribers, I want to continue to thank you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Now, let us begin. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka just addressed the media. And I hope you guys have managed to lay your hands in that press statement. And in that press statement, I picked almost 4 or 5 things. The first thing I picked is that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka has been making attempts to meet Raila Odinga and his lawyer, Professor Makwiny, without any success.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin the fresh round of political negotiation in our country, leading to the August 2022 general election, I've been compelled to release the above document in order to answer in part some of the criticism that has been leveled against me, to wit, and I quote, the indecisive kingmaker, end of quote, and the often quoted statement made before the NTV reporter, I believe that's my son Kennedy, to the effect that I would be a fool to support Honorable Raila Odinga a 3rd time without a measure of reciprocity. In releasing this document, it is imperative to mention that I've tried twice to have Professor Makwiny convene a meeting between me and my brother, Honorable Raila Odinga, in his capacity as the depository of this most important document. On his part, Professor Makwiny stands in breach of his obligation under the agreement, since he has already joined Honorable Raila Odinga's campaign team. By accepting nomination of the Orange Democratic Movement to run as president for the 5th time, I believe my brother Raila Odinga has committed an irreparable material breach of this agreement. Now that's a legal term defined, I quote, irreparable material breach shall mean a repudiation, reneging, a violation, or an ouster in any way of any of the articles of the agreement.
So, what I don't understand is why Raila Odinga is not able to meet with Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And is it true that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka cannot meet Raila Odinga when he wants? So that's something which is really still in my mind here. The second thing which came out very clearly is the fact that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka actually gave his reasons why he missed the ODM NDC. Those who follow this channel, I opined and gave clear reasons why Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka actually missed that NDC. So I was right.
Attending the ODM delegates conference, at which my brother was named a presidential flag bearer, would have meant on my part acquiescence of the impugned breach.
The third thing which I picked, which is actually very interesting, is the fact that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka actually gave Raila and Uhuru Odinga options. That we can work together, right? But you must know that there was this agreement which you did not honor. You might decide and honor it and become a nationalist, or you can decide not to honor it. But still, we are brothers, we can work. So basically, at that point, I thought and felt that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is still giving room for Raila Amolo Odinga.
I wish, therefore, to state as follows. My brother has the option of abiding by the terms of this live legal agreement, live binding legal agreement, and thereby emerging, in my view, as a true national, regional, and indeed continental democratic hero, or he has the option of choosing to act in utter defiance and repudiation of the agreement, and thereby compounding the trust deficit. In both cases, Honorable Raila Odinga remains a brother with whom I've labored in absolute good faith to bring true democratic change to our country. As already publicly expressed, I'm ready to work with him again under the three-pillar grand coalition government for the sake of our nation. I urge that we engage in fresh negotiations. I urge that as we engage in fresh negotiations, this document forms the basis of such negotiation.
The fourth thing, which also I found to be funny, is the fact that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is telling everybody who cares that he's willing to negotiate with Raila Amolo Odinga. But those negotiations must be based on a NAC agreement, on NASA agreement. What is NASA? Where is NASA today? NASA died. And Kalonzo Musyoka is one of the people who announced the death of NASA.
The rest of it is a formality. Yani hakuna mtu sasa yuko NASA, my friend. Hata pengine wewe. Wewe ndio unashughulika na hamjaandika barua na watu wametangaza. Yani when Wiper took the decision, everybody else saw it. Wengine wanapitia dirishani, wengine wanakimbia. The fact is hakuna NASA. Andika hiyo historia.
And lastly, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is now requesting President Uhuru Kenyatta to take charge of negotiations. The truth of the matter is that there is Azimio movement in that Azimio, President Uhuru Kenyatta is the patron. So I don't understand why he has a problem.
In effect, some of you say, I ask His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta to take leadership of the current round of negotiations. I think it's right and proper, considering he has a sense of authority, he's a sitting head of state, and whether some of you want to refer to him as an outgoing president, in my view, there are the presidents who have been outgone in our region and still hold great sway, not only in their countries, but in the countries of the African region. That is why somebody like President Obasanjo, my friend President Kikwete, who is actually in town, and others continue to be revered heads of state. I see President Uhuru Kenyatta playing that role into the future. But I want to urge that he plays even presently. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was my personal statement. As you can see, I don't even know where these Washmiwas have come from. Somebody must have sent somebody must have sent a tweet or something, a hashtag personal statement, and then people felt, yeah, the true volcano is here. And indeed it is.
But the truth of the matter is that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka putting these conditions is not going to work. People are willing to move. When Raila Odinga went and picked on the Kambani governors, he has his reasons. Maybe he had made attempts to solve all these issues to resolve all these issues with Kalonzo Musyoka without any success. That's why he opted for those people. Just when Kalonzo Musyoka decided not to attend the ODM NDC, I opined that the main reason why he didn't do that is the fact that Kalonzo Musyoka didn't want to share a podium or a platform with the Ukambani governors, because that would mean he's sharing with them at the same level. So let us wait and see how all these things is going to unfold. But the truth of the matter is that on 3rd of August 2021, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka collapsed NASA. So NASA is dead as we speak. I don't know how binding that document can be when NASA is dead. Raila Odinga is saying that they agreed that he will support Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, but he has never become the president. So why should he support him? And of course, in politics, I've always repeated here, the only things which are constant in politics are two: interest and betrayal. So Kalonzo Musyoka must live an ideal life where, as a politician, he must know and understand that the only constant in politics is interest. As long as Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka's interests are converging, then they should forget every other thing and move on. If those interests are not converging, then Kalonzo can go his way, Raila his way. The other thing is betrayal. Raila can betray Kalonzo, Kalonzo can betray Raila. That's politics. That's the basis of politics. No any other shortcut about that. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day.
I want to give you just a copy and actually spread. I'll distribute the copies of the agreement, but I just want to highlight one or two small paragraphs in it. It's actually entitled the NASA Deal, and by its nature, this document was a secret document. But it starts by saying this memorandum is a binding legal agreement between the parties. And the parties have been explained, and I've highlighted the paragraph which reads, the commitments made herein shall bind Principle H, read Raila, and Principle Q, read Kalonzo Musyoka, in both the 2017 and 2022 elections. By this agreement, the parties agree that Principle H will be NASA's presidential nominee, and that Principle Q will be his running mate. And then, most importantly, this agreement will remain valid until the 2022 elections, whether or not NASA wins the 2017 presidential elections. Please underline the words, whether or not. we won the elections. And on the Articles of Agreement, I highlight Principle 2. Principle H agrees in a public MOU to serve one term and publicly endorse Principle Q as a presidential candidate for 2022. Therefore, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody has had any difficulty whatsoever with my sense of negotiation and my ability to play it straight and candidly, I hope today I've acquitted myself. I see the very nice headlines today in the media that there's tension between me and my brother. I want to tell you there's none. And